All right, hello, hello. Looks like you guys can hear me. Let me know if the sound is coming through okay. We're still with backup microphone for today. The Amazon shipping notice says it should arrive today, so that'll be a good thing. Be nice to get a headset back on. It's always weird. The headset has the noise canceling. This obviously there's no headset, so I'm kind of like, oh, there's this thing in my face, right? So Melissa, I'm like, hey, don't go running through the hallways, right? I was like, this microphone picks up everything. You can hear like ants chewing in the walls. It's one of those things. All right, so sorry. Okay. Um, sorry. Jen's daycare posted like an update with like a dog. I was like, what's going on right now? They had police dogs there yesterday, so Jen was like all excited. She was like, there was dogs at school today. I was like, oh, okay, good. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Let's go over here. Giveaways. Let's go. There you go. I'm shocked. Will or Sean, they get in there. Will or Sean come in pretty quickly, and they hit those things right away. And they're like, "Hey, it's not working." So, um, 1 sec. There we go. All right. So, markets overall were pretty dead until just a little while ago. Things started moving around. We're seeing some movement inside of the yen, some yen weakness coming out there. But again, you can see in the last 15 minutes, a lot of this movement has happened. And we knew we had a bunch of data today. Funny, right? Yellen, who, again, kind of an important position, is considered a yellow. I love this one. China lockdowns pose risk to global economy, right? Zero COVID policy is a threat to healing supply chains differently. I love, and I think this is great, right? Disruptions could be very, very serious due to a U.S. Rail strike. Um, I think this is great. There's a reason why she is now considered yellow, and she needs to get out. This is great. Yeah, sure. You could also say at the same time, the U.S.'s housing bubble was also a global contagion and caused problems across the world, right? So I love it that let's point all the fingers at China. I think this is yeah, yeah. Um, Look, we should not overestimate the effect on inflation on lowering tariffs on Chinese goods. Yep, yeah, yeah. Basically, she has now destroyed the position. It's done. So no respect for her left whatsoever. I didn't mind her coming in, but yeah, the stuff that she says is just stupid. Um, yeah, let's attack China for their policies. They could just as easily attack us for our policies. And like I said, to say that the United States has never had a situation where what has happened here has spilled over into the rest of the world. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Basically, that saying about, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. It's kind of what she's doing. Again, trying to vilify China for what their policies are. Right. Um, it's kind of interesting. You know, Tariffs are bad. Tariffs are good. Tariffs are bad. Tariffs are good. Right. And it's funny because if you look globally, what the trend is to dump the dollar and bring on Chinese currency. So it's nice that she's trying to, the more that we, I think, try to make statements that which should be considered kind of bullying statements, right? The more we do that, there's more countries that are kind of standing up and be like, yeah, you know what? The U.S. is, you know, you don't have global dominance. We don't need to play the U.S. game anymore. Um, you know, and think about it. Like today, actually, I heard it this morning. Today is the last day of the Strategic World Reserve kind of release or whatever. It takes it up to like 265 million barrels or something like that. I think is the final. And it's funny they're giving oil to Shell. I'm like, wait a second, you're giving them oil, and yeah, you're complaining that they should make no money because you're giving them stuff. It's like, all right, yeah, tell me that was a good thought out plan there. Anyway, they said the total amount though brings us down to like half of what the strategic reserve is supposed to be. And they're like, yeah, we'll replace it at some point. But if you look to see when it was filled and what the price was versus what the price is now, they're like, we're going to wait till February to refill it, so that way we have price stability. Okay. Who's going to provide that price stability? Us or OPEC? You know? And in regards to that, you just got, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Bam. You just got this one right here. Russia basically saying, hey, anybody that's, in for the price cap just won't get any gas at all. Good for them. They should. Because put it this way, they have large nations that do want to buy it to them that are not going to cap them. So why should they have to pay? Like, I love it. I love the fact that people are like, I think that's great. You have a commodity that I need. I need it, right? But I'm only going to pay this much for it, and you're going to sell it to me this for this much. This is the Walmart mentality, right? It's the Walmart mentality. We're going to buy so much of it. Yeah, if you want to do business with us, they don't need to do business with Europe, right? There are plenty of other countries out there that would love to do it. The number one importer in the world, China. Guess what? China and Russia are boys, right? It's fine. They'll pay. They'll pay for it. And again, Middle East, Israel dumping U.S. dollars, right? Saudi Arabia now actually selling oil in Chinese currency, not just U.S. currency. So yeah, it's a nice game that we're playing there. But yeah, so we knew that this was coming. Not necessarily surprised in it. And again, it's kind of like a bad short trade, right? You guys all know what short trades are. You sell something and then you want to, pay it. You have to pay it back later. And the idea is that you pay it back for a cheaper price. We just gave 265 million barrels or whatever it is out. We're at 50% of what the reserve is supposed to be. It's a reserve for a reason, and now we are hindered that we are unable to supply, gas in a crisis. We gave it away. We kind of shorted it, right? And then we're going to replace it, repair it back. But now that oil is up at $100, what is the net loss for this whole thing? And did we actually stabilize the price of oil? Did we make gas prices cheaper than what they were before? Not so much. But China makes a threat of locking down. Saudi Arabia makes a comment. Russia makes comments. Everybody else seems to be able to control the price of oil much better than the United States right now. So, yeah. Looking at the data that came in this morning, right? So we got our Euro flash estimate. Now, there has been some comments. Where is it? Right here. This is a very, very interesting comment. Talking about how the EU, we're probably near neutral. Rates may temporarily exceed neutral, right? Interesting comments. You look at this, you're like, oh, that's not bad. But yet you see year-over-year flash at 10%, right? And core at 5%. So interesting that they think they're already at neutral. They barely did any raises, and this could actually be considered a very weak sign. Again, not one of the biggest names out there. Obviously, there's bigger names out there that can make this comment, but interesting that the EU thinks that they are already, because remember, they started way later because of the whole Ukrainian situation. They're already kind of behind the curve, and they could be at neutral. All right. Now, U.S. data today, very interesting, and this is going to be definitely adding into the ping pong effect of things. You got the first bit of data for employment, and remember, right? This is not the big number. This is not everybody. This is just ADP's numbers. The expectation was 196 was going to be lower than expected. It came in at 127. You're like, wow. The economy's drying up quickly. Yes and no. Remember, the demand was for open jobs, not people hired, right? So again, we know that the JOLTS data coming in at 10 o'clock today. That's really what the Fed is looking at. So that's going to be the big thing, and that comes in 20 minutes. So that data is bad, and that's kind of soft for the dollar because it's like, oh, they're going to slow down, which they've already said they're not. But that's the market keeps believing that that's what's going to happen. But then we got the preliminary GDP data on a quarterly basis, and it was higher than expected, showing that, hey, listen, the economy is not crashing. The economy is sustainable. It's continuing to kind of rally back again. That was the big threat. Raise interest rates too fast, the economy will go into recession. We'll be in major trouble. It'll all be bad, right? Right now, it's still going higher, guys. It's going in the right direction, meaning that nothing the Fed has done yet has hurt it yet, which is good because, again, no recession, a lot of demand out there. Inflation is still too high. Everybody agrees on that one. Has the ability to do things. So, again, housing market is kind of in shambles, although it did get some reprieve. It is, it did come back just a little bit. Again, rates kind of went down a little because everybody was like, that's it. It's not getting worse. A little bit of help there. Companies are obviously doing layoffs. A friend of mine that works for a company that I actually use just supposedly laid off another like 8% of their sales force. Or, I guess Salesforce is what it was. So, Amazon, Disney, we know a lot of the big companies are already laying people off in preparation for what they're seeing. But the GDP numbers are still going higher. So, again, Fed hasn't killed it yet. We're not, not in major trouble. So, interesting. But the JOLTS data coming in is extremely important. And again, this is one of those ones. Setting up any trades right now is going to be pretty difficult because JOLTS is what they were talking about. They wanted to see job destruction in JOLTS. Now, looking at the JOLTS data, last time it was supposed to break and come under 10. It's like, oh, look at this big destruction. And it wasn't. It was a huge. It was actually a big increase. It was an increase over what it was before, meaning more jobs were opening back up again. This time it's supposed to come back down again, but still not lower than that actual the forecast from before. So, you know, it is an interesting scenario. Are we going to break through that 10? I don't know. I think it would be a very interesting trading day if we did. I think that would be positive for the overall markets because, in looking at that, it's kind of like, hey, listen, the jobs are coming down. The demand is being destroyed. Yes, gotta love it, right? It's working. Maybe, but again, we still have 5 million people looking for jobs and 10 million openings. So it's not as bad of a situation as what this portrays. But this will be the next big linchpin. Maybe I mean I don't know. Maybe this comes in something crazy. I mean, maybe it comes in at like 9.2, right? If it comes in at 9.2, I think it'll be a pretty good day for the markets overall today. Just because it's such a big difference, right? And then at 1:30 today, we have Powell speaking. Powell is speaking, and again, economic outlook, inflation, and the labor market, right, at the Brookings Institute in Washington, D.C. So that's kind of a big one. We talk about different speeches and what can move the market. Talking about inflation and what we go forward, again, this will give us kind of an idea of what Powell is thinking, what his opinion is. So, you know, interesting day with kind of the ping ponging back and forth. And again, I'm actually surprised that this euro pound is not more based off the comments that we've heard thus far. So, you know, interesting morning thus far. Now, tomorrow morning, we have Swiss data early on, CPI on a monthly basis, expected to be flat. That's good for the Swiss. Again, getting a 0, that's what neutral looks like is when it's not increasing. Now, it's not going back down again. So it's not going in the direction that, many people thought. But again, I don't think the Swiss situation was as bad as some of the other ones out there. All right. So that's early morning, kind of European Open. And then at 8:30, we have our core PCE price index. Now, we're talking about what's neutral. Again, everybody's, patting themselves on the back. Hey, listen, yep, it's, our year-over-year basis went lower. This is what I'm looking at. And again, core PCE is what the Fed uses kind of to look at. That's their preferred inflation gauge, not, what's causing the inflation right now. But to me, in looking at this, I still don't see anything negative. I see positive. 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 I see more positive. Does it look like inflation has stopped? No. The answer is no. So it's nice that everybody wants to back down again, but neutral would bring us in at 0, right? Neutral should bring us in at 0, like what we see here. 0.3 is not neutral. And again, it was a 0.5 last time, came in as expected. So maybe it lowers a little bit, but to me, all I'm seeing is this is still going in a positive direction. This is not going to 0. It's not going backwards. We're not seeing any of the inflationary pressures go down, even though we know gasoline prices are lower, but they should actually be much lower than they are, right? Our brief touch below 75 didn't last very long this week. And again, the market's not stupid. The market knows the United States needs to refill the strategic oil reserve. That's why it exists. It's there for emergencies. And supposedly the Biden administration is also asking for an increase in the kind of like emergency supply of heating oil because they're saying it's going to be a cold winter. So I thought that was interesting. They drained one, but then they want to ask the other one, which I guess is in. I guess this morning they made it seem like it was in short supply anyway, because I guess it's a diesel-based product. Some of you guys may know more about that than me, but again, it's supposedly a diesel-based product. So, yeah, that's they're killing one supply and trying to switch it to the other one. But I think again tomorrow morning 8:30 that's going to be a big one, and again followed by manufacturing, and then tomorrow night we have Lowe and a couple other people speaking. So, some decent news in the next 24 hours. A lot that's kind of out there that is technically tradable. We just got to get through this ping pong period this morning with everything back and forth. All right, let's look at the charts. Let's see. Let's start up here with the VIX. All right, so VIX, still not much movement in this one. I would say it's still sideways. Technically, it's showing that it is up, right? But is it up? No, it's in the same exact channel. It's like playing games back and forth. It goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit, it goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit. But it hasn't really necessarily changed its trajectory. It's still holding firm right around that 22 mark. 22 is historically high, but, what we've dealt with recently, it can be considered, I don't want to say low. I mean, I guess it is on the lower side, but I don't know. I mean, we've been dealing with this for so long, but if you go back again, you can see where the low periods are down inside of this 20 area. And that was August, and then back down here you had in April. So, Historically, yeah, higher, but again, I wouldn't say that this is really giving us much indication right now. Considering all the speeches we have in the next 24 hours, this is not bad. Indices are a little bit mixed. Again, leaning more towards the green right now based off the data that we've gotten thus far today. Again, that JOLTS figure will be the one that's there. And I'm actually kind of assuming right now, based off of kind of what the read is for some of the other things, that JOLTS data is going to be lower than what the expectation was, which I think again gives us a big green positive day today, right? Um, just my take on it. I don't have any insider information, obviously, but that's just what I'm kind of feeling. Now, the dollar is still hovering. We never got up to the 61.8. I was really kind of hoping we get up there. I like that zone yesterday. Where the market closed yesterday, we kind of gapped down a little bit. We came up and grabbed, and we pushed back a little. Now, I think the market right now is having a very hard time figuring out what's going on. Now, we 8:30, 8 o'clock, we had a big spike up, then a big push down again. We're kind of holding right there. And again, the data this morning, it's kind of like, well, that's weak for the dollar, but ooh, that's strong for the dollar. And that's what we're seeing. We went up and then back down again. So it's kind of giving us that mixed signal in both directions. Again, the JOLTS data, I think, is really going to be the most important piece of it. So we'll see kind of where this one bounces in the next 10 minutes, right? I don't think we get the spinny thing now. Spinny thing is 5 minutes out. I'm actually not going to be surprised if this comes in at like a 10.1, right? 10.1, 9.8 would not be surprised there. I'm very curious to see what the pending home sales looks like, though. I am expecting a little bit of a push in pending home sales. I think this one misses because we know that the rates kind of went down, right? Once we got some of that data, the market kind of reacted. The rates actually did drop, and from friends of mine that I know in the industry, they said they had a surge on mortgage applications because, oh my God, the rates dropped. This is our chance. Hurry up, do it, quick, ready, go. So I feel like this number is probably off. I feel like this number is going to be a 10.1, 9.8. I feel like this one is going to be I don't know, -2, right? Something like that. Maybe it's positive a little bit, but maybe like a -2. I feel like this one is a little bit too far today. And that would be my take. And I think both those give us more of a green-based day today, right? And then Pat will screw it off later on. I still think he's going to mess it up. Overall, you're seeing oil, big mover, and we know why. Again, talking about China, and again, China, and it's weird because China just yesterday talked about removing their zero COVID policy, and then today Yellen is like, that zero COVID policy is so bad. It's like, okay, like, sure, you should be, again, you need to repay a gigantic reserve. Wouldn't you want oil prices to tank right now, not go the opposite direction? But again, the administration just doesn't understand that playing nice. You get more flies with honey than vinegar. It's nothing but vinegar, right? It's kind of what we're doing. So we're seeing that natural gas is going down a little bit. And I think that's interesting. Again, we talked yesterday about being high on the curve with natural gas. We'll show that to you in a bit. To me, that seemed like it was more of an area to roll over. And then everything else is a little bit higher because, again, we are seeing a little bit of dollar weakness, particularly silver. Now, looking at where we are. So, again, yesterday, got that 5:30 reversal. We hit that 11 o'clock time frame right here, 11:30, and then just stopped. It did nothing. Nothing. And then finally, we got a little bit of a reprise at midnight, and then the European stepped in here and kind of pushed it up. Now, we didn't, unfortunately, make it all the way back. We were looking for this one to come all the way back up to that 675. We didn't quite make it. It kind of got front run this morning. That 5:30 kind of reversal kind of came in here, and we kind of held through 6:30, and then again, the U.S. news, it was like, oh, yeah, that's good for the dollar. Oh, wait, that's bad for the dollar. Wait, it's good for the dollar. We're kind of seeing this kind of push back and forth. I was kind of hoping we'd be back up there for news today. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. But what I will say, and again, we'll find out in the next 10 minutes. Again, if we get the expectation or if we hit that it is lower than what the expectation is, it should rally this up again. We do have, with Powell speaking right here, right there. If we're able to punch up, I think that this could be a nice little area to take a short off of. Now, again, it's an if this and that trade. If the data comes in 10 minutes or 7 minutes and we shoot down again, obviously that's kind of setting us up more for the opposite reaction. But right now, if we do get some data, and again, if it is a miss like I think, we should push up. And if we're up in that area, I think Powell comes in. And again, I think Powell talks about how, we're not there. We need to go past neutral. We need to hold it past neutral. We're not raising it. I think the market has been so negative on the dollar. I really feel like Powell will provide some fair balance in the other direction and give us some dollar strength today. But again, we'll see what the data looks like. He already knows, so his speech is written. He knows what the JOLTS data already is. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. But otherwise, we need to wait for obviously the 10 o'clock to come through. Then we can see what levels we're at. If we have a big push down, if I mean that number comes in and it's like a 10.5, if I'm wrong, and it is wrong, but in the opposite direction, and if we push down again, we could potentially have something lower here. It's an okay zone. It's all right. It's been tested, but that could also be where we have a reversal. For some reason, if it's a big parabolic move down, Powell could again turn this and roll this back up. So there are a couple different options for this one today, but again, we got to get through the news release in the next 7 minutes and kind of see what we have rolling with that. Right? It should be there now. There we go. All right. So that one's prepped and ready to go. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen right now. So yesterday we had the European reversal, we had the U.S. reversal, and came back down and grabbed levels we should, and then kind of worked its way back up. Again, hit number 3. It had 1, 2, and the hit 3 went through. Kind of flirted around, and again, 50 worked here. Look at this, 61.8 did nothing, and went up, and now it's at the 78. Okay. Now we are kind of closer to the top of this thing. Once we hit the 78, we pretty much just take it off. We delete it. Get it out of the way. We're going to take this low to high and see what we have. 61.8 is providing the only opportunity thus far. Now, we do have a tested level up top, and it's been tested twice, so that could be the potential reversal. And this would actually be the yen coming in. So, again, we got some more room. And if we do pull this all the way up, you can see that, again, a little hiccup at the 50, 61.8. And, again, probably what we would see if this is the top. Looks like the 23.6 could be an area for this one to go higher. Now, we do have some Australian data coming out soon. Tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Lowest speaking tomorrow night. So, if anything, I would say we are kind of up higher on the curve. The Aussie is also showing us higher, and it's kind of again it's kind of setting up right now for an Aussie weakness based trade, but also same thing here. Whatever happens with Jolts is also going to move the yen, and whatever Powell says, also going to excuse me, also going to move the yen. So, two potential trade setups for that. Euro dollar. Euro dollar, we literally came down. We bounced off this lower level. We hit that late last night. Again, still kind of where we were yesterday. We were sitting right here. Actually, I guess it dropped down, but 10 o'clock is right there. It says 47, but we were sitting right here. So a little bit of a difference, but not really out of the trend area. But you can see this zone is acted like a magnet. So we can remove it. Really, with this one right now, again, I would say yes, it's up 50, but for the most part, we're still in the same channel. We are definitely on the high side. And when I say high side, if I kind of extend this out a little bit, you can see that based off this last pullback, and here, we'll even run this down. You can see we're not quite at the 50, but there's obviously some selling going on there. With this ticking up, there's a little bit of a zone there. I kind of want this to go through, and I would like for it to kind of move up into here. I'd like to see where it is, and I would like to take this one short. I feel like with Powell, I feel like for the Powell speech, I feel like we're looking to go long. I'm sorry, long dollar. So obviously short this position. It's okay right now, but again, it's all chop, right? I'd like it for it to be somewhere in this range. Somewhere in that range. 104.07 is I think where we're looking. But right now you can see, look, just chop back and forth until that JOLTS data comes in. Euro pound. So euro pound. Again, we already knew this trade was there. If we continue this across, you can see hit it again at the European Open. Actually, the little failure to go higher right here. Here's your 3 o'clock window. 3 o'clock pushed up and boom, went through again. So at this point, I am looking at. I am definitely more on the bearish side of this one now. Again, this level has been good and still holding. It's had many opportunities to get in. Again, the data talking about how we're already at neutral. I think that is kind of detrimental to it. I don't know. I would not use this same level again. I don't think we can use the same level again, but maybe just a little bit higher. We look for this to turn and roll back down again. Again, that level's been hit way too many times at this point, so I don't think this is going to be reliable for us to use. But again, there was its peak before, some front runs, kind of push it to the brink and then front run again. So, we're there. I think it needs to go just a little bit higher. Hit that level of exhaustion. You can see it's only up 0.09 or 0.1. So not really a big one. Yeah. That top level is kind of a weird level too. This is an interesting level, but very, very wicky up top. So I would say not necessarily have a setup on this one, but definitely bearish. Definitely bearish on this one. So, yeah, I just feel that level's been hit too many times. I feel like we're tempting fate. We're trying to push our luck on this one if we try to go short out of it again. But maybe up in there, right? Euro again. Yeah, perfect. It makes perfect sense too. So with euro rising up, we can take this one out. You can see we kind of played back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4 is what broke it. Now, see, this makes sense. This is pushing higher, getting into an area we're looking for shorts. This also kind of coming up and already starting to roll. Makes sense. This one, obviously, again, play from 730 forward, also getting into an area where, again, driving forward, parabolic move up, getting into an area where we're starting to look to short the euro. All right, so just a little tiny bit above. Oh, man, is that going to send mixed relief? Well, no, not really. This is obviously dollar strength because it's higher, meaning, yep, we can raise. And then pending home sales not being as bad as what they thought, which again, I said that this one would be lower because we saw the interest rate thing. The interest rate drop, people doing it really, really quick. So we got the ADP number. Let's see. I'm shocked we don't have a little bit more of dollar movement in there. So overall, what I would say with all this is if Powell does what I think Powell will do based off of what the market sentiment is, he should talk about dollar strength today. But, trying to think how he's going to sway this one. He's not going to talk about the ADP number because there's a federal number. See, basically patting ourselves on the back that, oh, look, demand is lowering. No, demand is not lowering. Hiring is lowering, but demand, this is what was driving kind of one of the inflation races. This right here. And again, it was supposed to be less. It is less, but it's higher than what the expectation was. So again, that is a dollar positive. So the 2.9 shows you that the economy is not crashing. The 10.3 tells you that the job, basically the job demand is still high, heavy. But at the same time, people aren't accepting jobs. And then it also shows you that, hey, listen, the housing is not crashing as much as it was. But again, we know that was because interest rates dropped pretty substantially last month for a brief time. And everybody was like, oh my God, now's the time, do it. So not surprised there. So, it's interesting. Yeah, it's starting to move now. Here. So yeah, with this rallying again, this is the yen right now. I think we're looking for a reversal. And again, we've been there once, but the 144.94 I think is another decent level. You may be able to continue this one across. And again, 2 front runs and a touch, but it barely breached. It's the same, it's the same base trade through here. Again, there's a parabolic move as well. The 3 is right there. And if you want to see, look how it's widening. Right, you had your pinch here, right? Your little Harry Potter trade, and look at the difference. European Open. Current. So, yeah. Little bit of a difference, right? Little bit of a difference. All right. So, yeah, I would look for this one to turn and roll. 144.94 is probably not bad. Oops, just delete it now. There we go. So there we go. We talked about this one yesterday. Talked about how it was a push through, kind of went back up again, and we just hit it again. I do think this one, if you were taking this one again, you could have put a new level in and said, "Hey, listen, there's a new top, right? It struggled to go any higher and just touched it. It's a little bit off from where the other one was, but it's kind of the same base trade, coming right in at that 120. And I think this one makes sense with what we got going on right now, with everything we saw this morning with the dollar in the news, right there. And all it does is bring it back down to the low. So. Probably a bit too deep to do much with it right now. But if you guys were able to grab this one in the overnight, nice little grab. I didn't get this one, but same trade setup from the other day. And again, that's why we leave our levels on here for a little bit. I do like this one lower. And again, I think we come down and again, we look at this. We've touched this same target. 44. Oops. There we go. We've touched the same target multiple times, so I think overall that's what we're looking to come down and touch again. The 119.44. And then again, we got a little kind of basing here, a little basing back down here again. So I think we look for a base. And again, is it a great basing level? No. But it's kind of backstopped with this right here. So look for that as your target to the downside. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen. So pound yen's in an interesting spot right now. We're seeing pound strength here, even though we're seeing kind of weakness across the euro. It is coming up in basing. And again, this is one of those ones where it's like, oof, we're here. It's a 50%. It is tested. We've had a big run up. The euro yen, also a big run up. Aussie, also the same thing, a big run up, and it's already got a high. And again, we're getting ready to get a red, green, red reversal in this one. I would say that this is probably an interesting spot as well. As you can see, the 1 to 3 brings it right back down to really where the origin of the move was today at 7 o'clock. So it's interesting setup. The risk is not horrible in it. And again, if you want to wait till it puts a new low, right? Get your red, wait for it to come back up, and then take your next red down. So the red, green, red confirmation. That's absolutely an option there. But if not, again, you may already be in the trade, or with it coming up in here, you may be waiting for it to close below the level to enter, right? So a couple ways that you can play that one. But absolutely, we're seeing the way the yen's setting up in the other pairs. The same type of strength coming in. Dollar CAD. So, funny. It was a 12 o'clock point. We missed it by just a little bit. Look at that. No. Down 76. Yeah, down 45 from where we were this time yesterday. But you can see from its peak. Down 155 pips from the peak yesterday at noon. So, again, we're calling for a reversal. I missed it by just a little bit. How much did we miss it by? 9. So, missed it by 9. Could have been worse. It absolutely could have been worse. Yeah, it could have been worse. Yeah, I think right now it's going to probably come down to that 134 down here. Yeah, it's a 61A level. I think right now we look for this. If it can make it this far, like I said, we've got some good data coming out. Let's put this is going to be a short profit target first, and then this would be a potential long piece right there. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, probably fine. So yeah, it should reverse right now, but it's looking for buyers. This is not really a great level of buyers here. It could get some help here. Yeah, parabolic move. Unfortunately, we missed that entry. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss. We're basically where we were yesterday. What's the movement in there? 0. 0. So yeah, we talked about tops and bottoms. It's still holding firm yesterday. Early morning at 2 o'clock. You can see we were sitting basically here. We kind of came up, up, up. We were looking for 95.55. It missed by just a little tiny bit. We missed this one by 3.5 pips. So again, being in the middle, I think this comes back up if we can get any pause at the top. That Swiss data tomorrow morning early. I definitely think there could be I think we could have the opportunity to find a trade tomorrow morning. Right now, the Swiss data is expected to be. It's expected to be 0. Is that correct? Yeah, 0. If this one hits on again, it's already predicted to be flat. If we can maintain the flat on this one, that should help us set up some type of a trade. Mm, hmm, it's all right. Um, should be. Oh, here you go. Chicago PMI. It screams recession. I love the headlines. Sometimes they have really great headlines. It screams recession. Hmm, screams. All right. All right. So again, went this rally a little bit farther than I'd be looking for a reversal. Now, dollar yen. Dollar yen is also pushing higher. Yesterday morning, we talked about a little trade setup right in here, and it made it to about a 1 to 1.5 before coming back again. And it hit it and hit it and hit it. Most likely a stop out at break even on this one. And again, it wasn't really the best push through. They were talking about it was kind of playing this reversal. And actually, if you'd taken the entry here, you made it 2/3 of the way through, got stopped out. If you made it here again, 1 to 3, probably got out. Zero optimism. Yeah, very true. Um, Another level, 50%, wedged in between the 56 and 18, 139.97. I think that's a decent level. We mentioned it yesterday. It coincides with what we're seeing with the Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen. So I think all those make sense. Um, Again, it makes sense that we're seeing the dollar strengthen this one right now. So maybe we just need a little bit more. And yeah, yeah, I think that's a decent short trade from there. So, um, oh, sorry, popped up again. Wait, what? Sure. Okay. Sorry. Wife message again. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a decent reversal. Again, rather the risk on this one is a little bit higher than normal, but you could actually take this as a confirmation. Wait for it to come in, base, start pulling back again, and then when it comes back up and touches whatever that new level of base is, take it off of that. Crypto's doing okay because of the dollar. Yep, got it. TLT. Again, there was your top, and we're continuing to push lower. All the data today is also again kind of leading us to believe strong dollar. Um, yeah, it's it is what it is. Yeah, it's pushing back down again. So again, the bond market is showing us the same way. So let's look at oil. So oil, man, did you touch that one? Did you touch it? You did touch it. So the zone we were talking about yesterday, right? The zone we were talking about yesterday, we had too many touches. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. We expect 4 to break. It based in 4, and yes, it did. Now it went to the higher 2 levels, and um, with both those levels up there, right? With both those levels, again, we were looking for a reversal. We've had plenty of data today that, again, the data is what the data is. Um, we expected a reversal. Now, again, we've had data from China. We've had data from the U.S. Um, yeah, it's there, right? It's there. Again, bearish, but not the end of the world. We're not really necessarily looking for any type of particular trade out of here right now. So, um, inventory. Let's see. Expect to be a bit of a down draw. Let's see. API. Inventory. Ooh, too many pop-ups. There's what we got blew up right now. There is our API release. Expect it to be small, big down draw. A little bit higher. Again, that could be why we're moving. So yeah, I would say, man, it's a shame it didn't go just a little bit higher. Uh, just a little bit higher. That'd have been a pretty interesting trade to take. Hmm. Hmm. Problem I have with this one is, again, I think people are expecting a bigger than kind of forecasted down draw. I don't know that we'll get the 7. I don't think it'd be that crazy. I like how it's driven up. The problem is, I like it more for a short right now than a long because, again, the data's out. Everybody's been riding it up. Problem is, it's already turned, and I don't think it can make it through that level. Yeah, I really don't think we can make it through that level. Huh. Yeah, sitting right there too. Yeah, even this level. 1, 2, 3, basing in 4. Hmm. Oops, not 1 second. Whoops. Problem is, any pop higher, I don't think we can clear those levels. Hmm. This level's just getting smoked at this point, though. 80 is right here. Hmm. It would make it. It would make it. Ooh, that's a rough one. That is a rough one. Hmm. I really wish these two levels weren't sitting here because this is a great reversal, right? That's an excellent level to reverse off of. And man, that data justified. Uh, Look at this. Preliminary GDP price index still going higher. Wholesale inventories, again, starting to increase a little bit. Trade goods getting worse. Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, I like this for more of a short than a long. I just don't know if we can. I just, in any long trade, I don't think we can go high enough out of this one. I just don't think there's enough room for it. Um, And again, it turned off a legitimate level at 9 o'clock this morning, and it's pushing back down again. The forecast is it's going to be a big miss, right? But everybody knows that the forecast is it's going to be a big miss. And 7.5, it's not the biggest in the world, but it's a pretty decent sized miss, right? So I think people are preparing for that one. So I say more to the downside. Natural gas, you can see natural gas is although it looks like it's down big, it's I would say natural gas is more just sideways. We're still in kind of a channel back and forth. Is it a tradable channel? Not really. The problem with this one going sideways right now is if you kind of box this one off and say, okay, well, here's where we opened the week, and there was the low of the week. We're really just kind of going back inside of there. Now it's a decent channel. I mean, 740 to 9. It is. That's a decent amount for natural gas. Um, but again, is there a trend in there? No, not really. Right on a 30-minute, it's not trending. It's Wednesday, and after the first initial push, from Sunday open to Monday, we've been basically sideways. It's been an inside kind of range. So kind of hard to do much with that one. I prefer this one with a trending market. And with Russia saying we're just going to cut gas off, you know, we're going to cut all oil off, right? Anybody that puts in a price cap, we're just going to cut it off to you completely, which again makes it more expensive other places. And I'll tell you right now, they put those price caps in there. They start messing with, they try to, control the price, it's a global market, right? Eventually, when people are seeing that they're missing out on profit, they'll find people that are willing to spend the money. So, I don't think it's going to work the way that they think. I think instead of putting the price caps in there, I think they should like quadruple. Instead of us spending billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars just throwing weapons and again draining our military stockpile on top of it, right? Just think if they had just think if they had put all that money, right, all those billions of dollars into those alternative energy sources, instead of trying to manipulate the price of it, destroy the demand for it, right? Destroy the demand. What could that industry, what could like the renewable or, I don't know, even if you just turn into natural gas engines, if you took all those billions of dollars, what could have actually been done? It boggles my mind the amount of money that's being spent. Um, God, even if they took just a fraction of it and not, provide an extra $1 billion towards the investment of just again a way in 5 years to kill the demand. Doesn't matter what you have to pay for 5 years if you're going to kill the demand for it. Um, yeah, amazing. Gold. Um, look at gold. So we talked about that level again with the news coming in today. We talked about if we could get up to the 61.8 level here for news. It ended up going just a little tiny bit higher at 8. Well, the news was 8 at 8:30. 8:15 is where that came in. Actually, 8:15 should have been the peak. It was. So 8:15 was the peak right there for news coming out, and you can see it's running back down again. This is one that we talked about yesterday. To do the setup of it, you would go right there, and your 1 to 3 target is actually right there. So it just got out. So it is officially out right now. But this was an easy one. As I said, I thought, I assumed that the data would bring some dollar strength in. Um, do we trade this one later today with Pal? Ooh, I feel like a lot of the short move is in now, but I feel like, again, if Pal's going to provide the fair balance that he normally does, he shouldn't provide fair balance off the news. He should provide fair balance off the market sentiment because that's what he's been known to do. And the market sentiment has been like, hey, the Fed's done. They're going to slow down. They're going to pause. They're going to do all that other stuff. And if that's not correct, you know, typically this is where he provides the fair balance that, the Fed has to, he may say where they think neutral is. Um, we're going to continue to rise. We're going to go slower for the next two rises. He should confirm something today, but again, it's talking about the outlook and having to go past neutral. And with the data today, I still feel like it should be now. Whether he messes this up now because of the data, we'll see. But yeah, there's your gold trade from yesterday. Again, pulling back up that 618 level. Silver. Now, silver didn't make it up. We talked about this, and again, we took a hit off of it. And again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's why we had a yellow. It actually hit 5 and supported and then kind of bounced and went higher. Now, it didn't make it to the 22, which is unfortunate because 22 was kind of the magic level what you were looking for the top side of that one. Um, Unfortunately, we didn't make it there. Um, yeah, not much we can say. We missed it. We didn't get all the way up. We were looking for it, and it robbed us. So, yeah, can't do anything off that. But we're pulling back down again. Let's see. Is POW 130? 130. Right there. So, hmm. Whoop. It's quite a move. Yeah, it's quite a move. I don't know if we can get all the way down there. I don't know. Maybe we see a continued deterioration. Maybe we get a headline that drives us down there, and then it's a long opportunity. But right now, I feel like well, it's probably more this. I wonder if we bounce through and then shoot down. I like. Hmm, hmm. That would be a heck of a move all the way down for Pal. Hmm. 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 God, this is. I hope this is not taking the steam out of the market. I don't know. I still think Powell. I still think Powell helps continue to crash us a little bit lower just from the talk of the continued move. Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback. Maybe we find our bottom now at 10:30 and we pull back up again. Um, let's see. Let's put a small little. Maybe. kind of backstop there. Maybe if we can get a rally back up again, I think again taking this one short for Powell is not a bad thing. I think it's in there. I'm feeling dollar. Let's see, what is the dollar doing right now? Yeah, dollar surging. Dollar going. Now we are here. Hmm. I'm just wondering, is this enough? It's funny. The big data all in one direction. The underlining ones, again, recession, recession, not good for the dollar. Trade balance getting worse, meaning profits of companies will go down. Um, it's two very different pictures, right? Um, if you do that, you're like, oh Jesus, this is bad, right? Recession, recession, recession. And actually, this is not necessarily a recession, but not great, and it's a mixed number. This recession, but these are two really, really bad ones, and these are all the small ones, right? And again, the price index getting higher, also bad. But then when you delete this one out and you go this way, you're like, that's it. This is the Fed data. Economy's not dying. Let's go. Jack those rates. Jack those rates. Jack those rates. So half says recession, half says jack those rates. Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna hold in this one. This should burst through it, but it is a gap. So wait, I'm on the 15. It doesn't change that much. I'm gonna leave that there, but I don't think that one holds. If we can spike all the way up to there, then yes, market is set for Powell to blow this market up. We'll see. All right, yes, yeah, you can see deterioration in this one. Let's go down to 15. Okay. Problem with this one is all the market. It's all early movement. Yeah, we wouldn't have got in. There's your test, but that's at 8:15. Unfortunately, that is a news move. There's your news move. Your opening print is right there, and with it being confirmed right there, the opening print never came back up to it. So, not an opening print. It's just a news move. Just a standard news move. Drove right up into a confirmed level right before news happened. Yeah, so nothing we can do about that one. Again, 8:15, 8:30, 10 wasn't the best morning for that one. But yeah, so nice little news move, right? Let's see what we got here. Let's run this all the way down. 8:15 is there. That's the old level. Unfortunately, the top of that is pretty crappy. Let's see. 940 right there. So, yep, there you go. There's 1 to 3 exactly. Looks like it missed by just a little tiny bit. Looks like it was a pip. Look at it. Looks like it was a pip back gang right there. You can see it right there. I know you guys can see it. Just missed it. So close. Reality of it though is you should have taken profit there. So yeah. So that one could still potentially be on. YM. What do we got here at YM? This is actually both. You could have traded this one for news as well as the open it did touch. Problem is it did it in one candle, so you can see. You can see there. There's 3.4, so you can see that it is passed. So again, opening print, you're good to go. And again, it should be going down right now. It's 100% justified to go down. Because like I said, all that data is raise those rates more. Raise those rates. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with the bottom of that one either. Russell. Same thing. Your confirmed level is kind of right there, right? And again, there's your 815 and there's your 930. So either one of those technically works. One of three's right there. So again, we'll just line this one for news. It's fine. So yeah, it was more of a news morning. And again, there's nothing we can really do about that one. Again, an 8:30, an 8:15, and a 10, you're kind of bracketed in for the opening. So the bigger events were the actual news events that were coming around it, as well as the quality. But not bad. Three different news trades were full. One you're still probably in. You missed it by a pipette getting out on the downside. So again, easy morning to trade the indices today. Yeah. So not bad. All right, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. We're right at 10:30 today. Only 6 of you in today. So again, low numbers. Who are we missing? Ernest is not in yet. Eki is in. Debbie. I don't see Will either. And actually, Will typically signs in early, so Will could be working today. And who else? Neuro and Sean. So yeah, it looks like the two bigwigs. It looks like the two bigwigs are not here today. We're missing Ernest and Will. So, oh well, makes it easy. They can't win. You don't play the game, you can't win, right? You know, the motto of the motto of the lottery, right? You know, you don't play the game, you can't win. So can't be upset either, right? It's kind of like voting, right? You have the right to vote, not the obligation to vote, which makes me want to smack people when they're like, you have to do it. It's your civil duty. No, it's my right, not my obligation. But if you don't vote, you can't complain, right? You can't complain. Anyway, all right, let's do it. Winner of today's drawing is... Ooh, didn't you win yesterday? Didn't you win yesterday? Oh, look at that. Look at that. 200. Didn't you? I think you did this last week, too. I think you did this last week also, didn't you? I think you won double. Look at that. Creeping up. Will's not here. Creeping up. Wow. Very interesting. For sure. All right. It's a girl gang kind of day today. All right. So with that said, again, Powell speaking at 1:30 today is going to be very telling. I think it's definitely an important release, particularly after all the data, as you see. The behind-the-scenes data is screaming. I have to agree with him. I think it's a screaming recession because, again, none of those data points are good. At the same time, the things that the Fed is looking at, the amount of job demand, yeah, it's lower, but it's not as low as what you thought. Pending home sales is like, oh, look at that. The housing market is safe. It is not. The housing market is not safe, but we know why it temporarily went down. And then at the same time, when you look at, again, the GDP, the world is not ending, right? The GDP is going back up. The economy is not dying. Nothing that the Fed has done has been too bad yet. The poison pill is not bad. So I think, yeah. Ernest is not even here to defend himself, Neuro. Not nice. So, all right, with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys back tomorrow morning. Hopefully my voice is still there. It's obviously much more rough today. Jin is on the good side. She's feeling much better. She had no meds last night. She didn't wake up coughing. She's doing good. Kipster, unfortunately. Kipster, I think, is at his peak day. Poor boy's got, being so young, he can't blow his nose. So he's got a stuffed up nose, crusty boogers everywhere. Yeah, poor kid. He's hurting today. So hopefully this is as worse it gets and tomorrow's a better day. But dad, unfortunately, is, definitely a little more congested. So, all right, with that says, hope the kids are doing better ASAP. Nerd, what about me? What about me, my friend? What about me? You should be saying, I hope you feel better, right? Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being here. I'll see you then. Oh, wait, look at the crude oil. Ooh. Ouch. We thought -7 was bad. Ouch. Considering it's the last day or the final of the strategic oil reserve release. Ouch. Minus 12? Wow. What is oil doing? Yeah, never even I just spiked through. Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, everybody's trying to short this one right now. Yeah. Uh yeah, I'm surprised that I didn't think 12. 12 is a big number. Even like when you have a miss and like the expectation is 10, 12 is a big number. Um yeah, wow, 12 is a ouch. Yeah, there's a short squeeze going on right now. But yeah. Ooh, 12. Man, that's a big one. That's a big one. Mm. Well, that'll be fun. I'm sure we'll hear some more comments about that later. So, all right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good one. If you need me, shoot me a message on Discord. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you then.